Welcome to Atom Software. This video, we will cover how to add a new client, as well as taking you through a few of the more important things to learn about a client file when you're first starting with Atom. So to start, you're going to go to search, and then usually use this to find your clients. You just type in their name or access code within these fields here. It'll pull up the search results. But to add a brand new client, you're still going to search for them. So I'm just going to type in new client. Search says that there are no records found, but that's fine. We can click this add new contact button. So we click on this, it pulls up a menu here where we can choose what kind of account that we're going to create for this client. In this case, I want to create a 2023 tax prep file. It's going to put them in our lobby event right now. And so what I can do is just click add new contact, and that will take me to the contact info section of the client file. And we haven't made the client file yet. We still, at the very least, need to give the client an access code. And this is typically the client's SOCH, but if they're just brand new and you don't have that information yet, you could use, say, like their cell phone number or an in-house code. So what I'm just going to do is I'm just type in new client for that. And then from here, you can also add their cell phone, day phone, evening phone, email, spouse info and whatnot. But basically, as long as you have a first name, last name, and also an access code, you can click save, and that will then create the client file. So starting out with Atom, you'll definitely want to become familiar with a few parts of the client file, primarily the contact information section, which we've been talking about here. Again, this is where you can house the contact information for this client. So we have the primaries, SOCH, their name, date of birth, areas for phone numbers, and email. Same thing for the spouse. There are fields for the spouse. And if you scroll down, we have fields for the address, secondary contact, and the secondary address. And of course, if you make any changes here, there's a save button in the top right. And then there's also actions that have certain functions within the contact info section. And then you have links that can take you to other parts of the client file. Moving on to other parts of the client file, if you move your mouse to the left, you have these icons that will take you to different sections. You can also click this show hide sidebar to lock this in place. And we're going to move over to account information. So we click on this, and account information tells us information that pertains to the particular account year that you're looking at. So in this case, we can see that we're looking at a 2023 account. The user is typically the person that's doing the tax return. So if we already know that, we can set that up right there. Our save button is in the top right corner. So we just click save to record that change. Account type is what kind of account it is. And if this is a 1040, we're going to say it's a 1040. Site, if you just have the one Atom site, you won't really worry about this setting. But if you have more than one site, you can choose what site that client goes to. And then business type is what service in Atom that this account is for. So with it being tax prep, we can tell that this is a 2023 tax prep file. You can also see this at the top of the screen here. If we had other files for this client, we could click on this and then select them. And then further down here, we have scheduling. And so we have difficulty, and this is kind of an in-house rating for how difficult the jobs associated with this client is. If this is a brand new client, we could choose new. And then our time will default to 60 minutes. You can change this. You can just override it if you want to. Say this only takes 30 minutes. We can do that. Again, click save. You have appointment type. So if you want to set up how this client usually schedules appointments, you can do that here. Again, you can add more of these once you learn more about Atom. And then same thing with referral. Referral tracks how they came to you. And then for a brand new client, we have a couple options right there. And then you can also set up other referral options, and those are found in the admin tab, which we can work with you as you begin to learn more about Atom. Moving on to document storage. Inside the client file, there are two places to store documents. We have account documents and permanent documents. Now, permanent documents is used to house any document that is for this client, but it doesn't really tie into any particular account year or service that you offer. So typically a form of ID, like a driver's license, is what you want to store in here. And so this is where you can house those. If you need to upload a driver's license, you can just click on this add button in the top right corner, and then you can either drag that file over there or you can click on browse. I'm going to drag a file over there from my other screen. And so we've done that, and then we can choose what kind of upload type it is. This is an ID for the taxpayer. We can do that, and then we can scroll down and give it an expiration date. So maybe this driver's license expires on July 22nd of 26. So once we do all that, we can just click Save Close, and then that will then upload that file for storage. And we could always re-download it by clicking on the document name here, and then that will then queue that up for download. And account documents works in a similar fashion, but account documents is where you want to store documents that pertain to the year and account that you're looking at. So in this case, this is where we want to store our 2023 tax prep documents, and it works the same way. If you want to upload something here, you can click on add, and then same thing, you have browse, drag, drop. I'm once again going to drag a file over from my other screen, and then we can set up what kind of file it is with the upload type. Maybe this was a W-2, so we can choose supporting documents W-2. In the description, we can type that this was a W-2, and then click save, and this will then upload that file to your account documents. Lastly, we're going to take a look at the events section. So you can see on the left, we have events right here, and it'll show what event that the client is currently in. So we click on events. We have intake lobby. Now the reason why the client is in this lobby event is because when we added this new client, it automatically put the client in this event. And our events will correlate with how our homepage looks. So if I pull up a new link on our homepage, we can see that there's one client that is in the lobby event, and it's going to be our new client. So back to the client file. This event page, this is where you can leave notes that pertain to that particular step that they're in. Just click the edit pencil, and then you can click this clock to timestamp it, and then type up your note. You could assign this to somebody if you wanted to. You can change the assign date and the due date. And so once you're happy with how this is set up, just click save, and that will, of course, save any changes that you've made to this event. If you're going to add a new event or move the client to a different part in your process, you're going to click on this add button in the corner here. So click on add, and this pulls up a menu where you can choose the next event that you're going to move the client to. Say in this case, we're going to move them over into ready for tax prep. We can leave a note if we want to. I'm just going to say ready to be worked on. And I could assign this to somebody if I want them to work on that, or I could just leave it on the home page and somebody could go ahead and grab it. So I'm going to click save. Then now our event is ready for tax prep. I can click this all events here to show that we don't ever lose that old event. It still stays within the history, so we can still see those notes, but it does close it out from view unless if we decide to show it. And if we look at our home page, we can see that now if I refresh it, our client is no longer in lobby, but they are in ready for tax prep. And so somebody can look at the home page, click on this event, and see that this client is ready to be worked on. They could click on the client name, they'll be taken to the client file. So that should give you a good start with the client file. Those are definitely the more important parts of the client file when you're first starting out. We encourage you to explore and play around with these other sections, and definitely reach out to Atom Support if you want to schedule a training session where we can go with you to cover these topics and to also cover topics that you want to cover about Atom. So definitely feel free to reach out to Atom Support for that.